Thank you so much for joining us here at KHOU, based in the Houston metro area. I am Meteorologist Addison Green, and here is your Wednesday Atlantic tropical update. We're talking about Major Hurricane Sam, as well as two tropical waves and Tropical Depression 20 that formed earlier on today. So Sam is forecast to stay a major hurricane for the next 4 days, but still have no direct impact to any land masses. Tropical Depression 20 formed just around the 10 o'clock hour during Central Time frame this morning, and it's likely to be Tropical Storm Victor by nightfall tonight. Now, two other tropical waves that we are keeping our eyes on have low chances of development in the next 2 to 5 days, but meanwhile, we can safely say that none of that will be impacting North America for the time being. Now, Victor's the next name to get crossed off on the list, and then we have one more name left to go. That is Wanda, and after that, we will not be seeing the Greek alphabet pop up anymore. We'll be seeing a supplemental list of alphabetical names coming on up with the A name starting up if we happen to get through Wanda. And that is certainly possible as we're making our way through the second half of the tropical season, going towards a downward decline, a little bit of a spike right there coming around mid-October with the potential for storms to form a little bit closer towards North America, down in towards the Caribbean islands. So looking at the big board right here, we have the remnants of Peter that have a very tiny chance of developing in the next 2 to 5 days. Another tropical waves pushing it across the central Atlantic, 30% chance during that same time frame. Sam, major hurricane, category 4 with winds of 130 miles per hour. It'll eventually make its way across towards the western portion of the Atlantic Ocean and then weaken over time. Now, Tropical Depression 20, you can see right there, making its way just off the coast of Africa, likely to strengthen in towards a tropical storm and then hurricane as it goes forward in its life cycle, but still no major threat to any land masses. Now, Hurricane Sam's packing winds of 130 miles per hour. You can see that nice clear eye right there feature going on in infrared satellite imagery. It's moving to the northwest at nearly 10 miles per hour, and it has certainly that classic shape and look of a strong hurricane with those feathery bands venting out nicely, showing that the system is either maintaining its strength or showing signs of some more growth over time. Over the past several hours of available daylight, we can see the visible satellite imagery, clear-cut eye right there. That's a little obscured over the past several cycles, but nonetheless, a still clear-cut eye. With the visible satellite showing us the wind field as well, with the hurricane force winds extending outward maybe about 68 miles or so from the center of circulation, and we have a diameter of tropical storm force winds of over 200 miles. So it's an average size system in size and shape, but we're not going to be seeing those potentially hurricane force winds exploding out and about from that center, or at least not just yet. But as we move forward in towards your water vapor imagery and 250 millibar winds, remember those are the winds that the jet stream is at, same altitude that a commercial jet flies at. We have a big ridge of high pressure that we have the system making its way right underneath, and that's why we can see that system clearly venting as we have that upper level wind pattern being very favorable for nice clear exhaust from bottom to top of that system. And as we look out there towards the sides, we have an area of low pressure towards the east, a trough out there towards the west. Neither one is impacting that system, at least for the time being. So that's where we are seeing it vent freely and not having those cloud tops fading away, getting chopped off, in which case you see the system struggle to get its act together and eventually weaken over time. So as we move forward with the tropical wind categories, we do see that those strong tropical storm force winds in the light blue to the more category 2 to 3 hurricane force winds closer towards the center of circulation. And as the system curves up towards a north-northeasterly direction, it will eventually make a glancing blow towards the St. George area. That is the capital right there of Bermuda. So some strong tropical storm force winds are possible, but more certainly some rough wave activity, a little bit of sea swell, and maybe some of the outer bands of sand pinwheeling over this way. But for the most part, it'll dodge the brunt of the system, the dirty side of the system. That's the right side, as the system moves over towards the north-northeast and then eventually weakens, going in towards the cooler waters of the North Atlantic, where we do see those sea surface temperatures running into the 60s just south and east of Labrador right there. It's the 70s south and east of Halifax and Nova Scotia, and then it's the 80s in all that red highlighted color. It's one of the reasons why, coupled with the relaxed wind shear up aloft, that we see the system maintain a category 4 intensity till probably at the latest Friday morning, and then it goes towards a category 3 by Saturday morning. All the while, it's many days to come of staying a major hurricane. Now, Tropical Depression 20, you can see right here, has winds of 35 miles per hour, moving to the west-northwest at 14. And it does show still a nice little feathery band going on, showing that the system is trying to vent, trying to get that center of circulation to form around where those thunderstorms are starting to congeal, get around at the center. But overall, we are seeing the system a little bit lopsided, but not for long. Now, while the system is running in towards the Saharan dust right there, and as I was recording of this video just before 4 o'clock Central Time, we can see the latest advisory coming on in from the National Hurricane Center now has it as a tropical storm. So Tropical Storm Victor is here. You're watching it on this video, and the system is getting its act together a little more organized despite it running in towards that Saharan dust right there, which the more thicker concentration can be found up towards the Cape Verde Islands right there. It's going to try and come down from north-northeasterly direction, but it will kind of dissipate and fade away over that same time. One of the reasons why we are seeing Victor now starting to get its act together a little more so is it's also underneath a ridge of high pressure, allowing it to freely vent and having the chance for going in through more growth and development over time. But we'll be seeing eventually running towards a trough up there towards the northwesterly direction. There's your wind shear right there up aloft. They'll eventually move on in towards, as this upper area of low pressure in this trough dig down and push in towards Africa over time. So moving forward, we can see Victor becoming a Category 1 hurricane as we move forward into late Thursday or probably Friday morning, and then eventually weakens as it goes towards those cooler waters to the north, and then eventually has a little bit more wind shear that unfortunately it has to deal with. Now, we move out there towards the western portion of the Pacific. So we're kind of just jumping ocean basins right here, and there's a reason why. We don't typically talk about typhoons, but nonetheless, this one is of merit to pay attention to across North America. Now, this is very strong Typhoon Mindulle, packing winds of 110 miles per hour, so that's the equivalent of it being a Category 3 hurricane. Now, we can see it moving towards north-northeasterly direction, just south of Japan. There's China, Shanghai. There's Korea, I should say, South Korea, and there's Seoul. And it's going to be eventually pulling away from that region. But as it's going to be doing so, we're watching the upper level winds and the jet stream winds right there, where you can see that they will dig down, a trough digs down, picks it up over time as it moves towards cooler waters in towards the North Pacific and weakens during that same time frame. But as we see the jet stream getting influenced by this very strong, very moisture-packed tropical system, it will start to have a little bit of a dislodging of its shape, a little bit more of a dislodging of its general nice flow moving from west to east. It gets a chance to buckle a little bit right there. And we'll see a ridge kind of being built up right here. That means a trough will eventually set up shop across portions of Alaska and Canada. So if we were moving forward in towards October and November, we may be seeing more colder air come on out from Siberia over here up through the Arctic Circle, getting dislodged and coming down across for portions of North America. But thankfully, we're in the early portion of the season, so that is not the case. But as we follow the remnants of that tropical system, they'll be making a little bit of a messy, snowy scene up there towards eastern Russia, and maybe just pushing over towards the Bering Sea, in towards western sections of Alaska. But now we are starting to see a trough develop up across western Canada, digs on down across the west coast of Florida, so maybe helping to set up a strong Pacific storm right there heading in through Thursday around lunchtime. But what we can also see right here is we're watching the jet stream dig and buckle right down there. So we're going to be seeing some strong upper level winds pushing in towards California, so that may help to transport moisture over that way. They certainly do need the rain. But as we look further up across the United States, notice the jet stream splits. It goes up towards the Hudson Bay area and also goes down in towards Texas. So we have a big blocking pattern setting up right here with a wet pattern setting up across the southeast and a ridge setting up across the northern plains. That means a heating trend will be coming on in for that section of North America. And while we will be eventually seeing cold air come on down across portions of the Pacific Northwest and in towards Montana, we'll be noticing that that high pressure ridge will be moving on in towards the Great Lakes and eventually towards the Northeast. So if you're thinking, I got to get myself the gas and the oil ready to go for the winter season ahead, well, we'll be noticing that perhaps you won't be seeing that cold air come on in just yet. We're trending on the milder side throughout at least the next 2 weeks as we watch the long form pattern. And that's what we're going to continue to watch as we move throughout the tropic season and eventually in towards the winter season, seeing where the jet stream breaks and buckles, seeing where we may have Arctic air being dislodged, and where it may be coming down across portions of North America. So feel free to reach out on all these social media accounts. I'm very active on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook if you have any questions, thoughts, and concerns. Chief Meteorologist David Paul will be around later on this evening with another weather update. Have a great Wednesday.